that at NASA, our mission is for all humanity, and that's because space brings us together. There's no better proof than moments like this, a total solar eclipse. It's a moment when millions of people across North America will look to the heavens as the moon passes in front and between the sun and the earth. And it's a rare sight that we haven't seen in 7 years. And unusual things start to happen as the normal rhythms of Earth are disrupted. When you're seeing this eclipse, you ought to observe this. As the day appears to turn to dusk and then dark, people have heard birds stop singing. They've seen giraffes suddenly begin to gallop. Roosters start crowing and crickets chirp. So watch for these unusual behaviors. And we encourage you to help NASA observe the sights and sounds around you.
That's one thing, the vibrations are going to change, but I feel like it's going to feel like the calmness of the night during the day. I should be a poet.
Just in case you missed it, earlier today, a car rammed the security gates at the FBI headquarters outside of Atlanta.
This happened just after noon. The FBI saying the driver of a vehicle crashed into the gate of their Atlanta headquarters in Chamblee, Georgia, which is northeast of downtown Atlanta. You can see that vehicle. Looks like it might be an Infiniti SUV. Crashed into that wedge-shaped barricade just past the gate, and an FBI Bearcat vehicle there on the scene. There's another one as well. In a statement to Fox, the Bureau says the car rammed into the employee entrance with the driver attempting to enter the facility. He was arrested by DeKalb County Police. Nobody was injured in all of this, but the FBI and police try to determine, Sandra, why in the world the guy did this.
You're left wondering, looking at that and how you think you're going to get past that. For any of us who have seen these FBI offices, we know that they are heavily guarded and gated, and clearly this person decided to go straight through, but was stopped.
I was just in Chamblee the other day. You gotta be a little off the deep end to break into an FBI facility. Y'all think he got written up? You think he got fired? Or he's just a regular person out on these streets tripping? That was out of here, wasn't it? Even if that's ours, that's still pretty crazy how fast they be able to go. Look at that. Feel like the pieces are going and connecting to it. It closed up. Out of here. That's clean. Feel like that thing waxed up. That's probably the best image I ever seen.
What the hell is that thing? Hold on a second.
Should we really recreate the Big Bang during the total solar eclipse on April 8th? I don't think so, but CERN seems to think it's a great idea. They are going to turn on the world's most powerful particle accelerator to see exactly what happens seconds after the Big Bang and study dark matter. No, I am not exaggerating one little bit. Recreating the Big Bang is exactly what CERN does. Every time they power up the LHC, which is 17 miles long, I might add, it recreates seconds after the Big Bang, and then they study all the particles that come about. That's how they found the God particle, or the Higgs boson particle. Higgs boson particle is fundamental force-carrying particle. It gives everything on Earth mass. So without this particle, we'd have nothing. We didn't know about this particle until 2012. Why do I think that this is just a bad idea overall? Because Stephen Hawking warned us 10 years ago that this machine could become unstable and create black holes that would suck up everything in existence. He said not to worry about it back then because they would need a much stronger Hadron Collider. They've made it stronger, they've made it bigger in the past 10 years, and they're going to fire it up on April 8th.
I can tell you one thing, whatever they set out to do, they doing it, or else they would have scrapped that idea a long time ago.
10 countries with the largest gold reserves. 10. Netherlands to 612.5 tons of gold. 9. India, 687.8 tons of gold. 8. Japan to 765.2 tons of gold. 7. Switzerland to 1,040 tons of gold. 6. China, 1,948.3 tons of gold. 5. Russia, 2,299.9 tons of gold. 4. France minus 2,436 tons of gold. 3. Italy, 2,451.8 tons of gold. 2. Germany, 3,362 tons of gold. 1. United States, 8,133.5 tons of gold.
And then we started to read these ancient tablets, and they described that last city, Shuruppak, had a king known as Ubara Tutu. That city was found in 1931 by Penn Museum, and they found it 30 to 35 feet down. And above that 17-foot inundation layer, they found two other civilizations that had coexisted closer to us that were much more primitive. But the more ancient version, the Sumerians that were on the very bottom, had much more sophisticated pottery, ancient writings, and they found the name Shuruppak on 3 tablets. This figure, Ziusudra and his sons, had survived this catastrophe. And the tablets describe them landing in this unbelievable cedar craft that they really do describe in great detail having to create as landing in the mountains of Ararat.
I feel like it has been many civilizations, but some kept happening and it had them built over and over on top of each other. I feel like if we go down deep enough, we'll find buildings that's built out of titanium and computer chips and everything else.
Disney is shocking the world. Here's an idea. Purchase your $3,500 Vision Pros from Apple. Then you purchase this. And then you'll be stuck like that game called Ready Player One in a virtual reality for hours and hours and beyond. Run that video to see Disney's cool invention. Comment below. Will you be participating in this?
I can walk on this omnidirectional floor in any direction I want. It will automatically do whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor. And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently. They can walk in virtual.
I think this can be a nice little workout. I can see people trying this. I'll definitely get it.
The sewage treatment plant behind us takes in the waste of 500,000 people, and when it can't cope with it, it chucks it straight out here. And in the marine life just beneath our feet, we're actually finding they're full of drugs. They're full of contraceptive pill, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. Every single marine species that we've looked at so far is full of cocaine.
Sorry, Richard, can I just ask you to clarify with your experts there, if your expert is still there? Every marine species is full of cocaine, did he say? What?
Yeah, so Alice, they're just asking about the cocaine that you've found. I mean, you're sampling these marine species and you're finding that what's in the sewage water ends up in those species.
Yeah, exactly. The drugs affect this wildlife in the same way that they do us. So if you give a fish contraceptive pill, it starts to feminize. If you give crabs antidepressants, it changes their behavior because those drugs were designed to change behavior. So if you give them illegal drugs as well, it has very much the same effect it has on them that it would do on people as well.
But the fact that you're finding it in them shows there's quite a high concentration of nasty stuff coming out of that pipe.
Most certainly. And obviously it's all joined together, so these species don't get exposed to just one of these compounds, they get exposed to all of them. So
Could surfaces with tiny needles be designed to kill viruses? Researchers in Australia have created a wafer material that looks like a flat black mirror and is smooth to the touch, but it's actually covered in super sharp nanospikes. During testing, 96% of the virus that causes pneumonia and bronchitis were either punctured or torn apart within 6 hours of coming into contact with this surface. Like, how cool would it be if it was just a part of this and you wouldn't even feel it? Each spike is about 30 times thinner than a human hair and thinner than these viruses. Interestingly enough, something like this already exists in nature. Some species of insects like cicadas and dragonflies have developed sharp little structures that can puncture bacteria. Viruses, however, are usually much smaller than bacteria, so ion bombardment was needed to cut into the silicon to create these much smaller structures. Scientists are hoping this material can be applied to surfaces, devices, or even laboratory clothing in high-risk environments. But where I think most of us really need it is probably on our disgusting phones.
That just seemed like something that everyday people use to make viruses more concentrated. Can you imagine these getting on each other and breeding?
Scariest conspiracy theories on Earth that will seriously change your life. This shows all the conspiracy theories in the world, from the most well-known to the darkest of the dark, and yeah, there's quite a few. And of course, in this series we're going from the top to the bottom, where it will literally change your life. So if you're easily scared, just keep on scrolling right now. But yeah, let's kick off part 2. We are inside Area 51. Boom. Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking, Matt. What the hell are you going on about? But stick with me, because I'm just as confused as you are. Please remember also, I'm not saying I believe these are just theories. Theories, that's it. So we all know Area 51, one of the most heavily speculated places on the planet. What is going on there? What is in there? Is there alien life, or are we inside it? So yeah, this is a bit of a unique one, but stick with me. So the theory is that what if we are essentially in Area 51, in the sense that this planet is the bad place that we don't really want to be. And the reason we're not allowed to go in Area 51 is because that's the exit to the real world, and they don't want us to escape. So no, we're not physically all in this little building, but we're trapped in this Earth, which is almost like a giant experiment or something, we don't know. Don't want us to go in Area 51, because then we can get out. Shit, I don't know. As I say, just theories. Just theories, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit that follow button, because this is about to get a whole lot crazier.
Imagining we in a simulation is one thing, but trying to figure out where the simulation is located is crazy. But what if we came here by choice, and knowing where we was before this is just ruin the whole experience?
Ryan Garcia recently posted a video showing a bird that seemed like it was fake.
It does look like it's fake. Come on, move! Fire your spot. His wings look perfectly fine.
Ryan, along with a lot of people in the comments, were thinking this bird is not real. A lot of people have heard the theory that birds aren't real. But where did it start? This is Peter, the guy who started it all. It seems almost like the birds aren't real theory and movement started overnight and just blew up. People truly believed
that birds are actually drones.
This was a joke for a lot of people, but to so many others, there were things that were going on in real life that made them believe otherwise.
Researchers at New Mexico Tech are taking a unique approach to studying wildlife and flight by transforming dead birds into drones.
Baby pigeons became a huge focal point, as a lot of people said they've never seen a baby pigeon before. A lot of people believe that mainstream media gives us subliminal messages, that they tell us things that are real without actually saying they're real. Black Mirror came out with an episode where they mentioned using bumblebees as drones. That episode only fueled the fire, because here we have another winged creature that's being used as a drone. People started sharing videos of birds acting like NPCs.
Birds charge on power lines. That's a dead bird, and it's just floating in there. No strings, no nothing.
The video of this bird went viral, and it seemed like the bird was floating in midair without flapping its wings. There was also the UV bird. People were really going crazy over this UV bird. So now we have a movement, public protest. We have Peter going on to the news to spread the story further.
The government mercilessly genocided over 12 billion birds and simultaneously replaced them with surveillance drones.
It sounds like something you shouldn't know, but now you know.
Some advocates say the drones could be used by the military or law enforcement to spy on people.
Fly or you're a spy.
A lot of people in the comments are mentioning that birds aren't real, that this is a drone, it's a surveillance drone, and because of what Ryan had been recently posting, it's obviously there to watch him. Ryan started acting out of character. He started to post things on X, and he was also going live where he was exposing a whole bunch of conspiracy theories. People believed this birds aren't real theory 100%. They did not realize that the guy who started this was doing it for satire.
It was just an idea put out into the world by accident.
He said one day he came up with the idea while being in character. He just went with it, and more people started catching on. More people started adding their spin and their theories to it.
Are you serious? Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Many people believed that Peter was forced to say these things. Now knowing all of this, what are your thoughts on the bird in Ryan's video?
In honor of April Fool's Day, these are some of the greatest hoaxes ever pulled off. In 1948, a man named Tony Signoroni stomped around a beach in Florida wearing a pair of 30-pound lead shoes. For the next 40 years, he had locals convinced that a 15-foot-tall penguin was waddling around the area. In 1979, billionaire Richard Branson released a hot air balloon shaped like a UFO over the streets of London. The next morning, local police forces were mobilized and even the army was alerted. When the balloon landed, Branson had also paid a little person to walk out dressed as E.T. In 1957, the BBC did a segment on a Swiss family harvesting spaghetti from their spaghetti tree. Since spaghetti was fairly unknown in the UK at the time, hundreds of people contacted the BBC for advice on growing their own spaghetti trees. It's regarded as one of the greatest hoaxes ever from a reputable news network. On April 1st, 1975, residents of Sitka, Alaska woke up to the nearby dormant volcano blowing out black smoke. When a Coast Guard pilot went to investigate, he found 70 burning tires and the words April Fool spray painted into the snow.
Ancient alchemy, red mercury, gold, garlic, and a mirror, so let's talk about it. Red mercury and gold, is it the key element behind the ancient technology of these advanced architecture? As we can see here, red mercury is repelled by garlic and attracted by gold magnetically. When a mirror is placed beside it, colorless in the mirror, it has no reflection. It gives off free energy, overheats the metals that it comes in contact with. Many electronic valve devices have RM ampules found in the throat of the ancient Egyptian mummies, so it has healing prosperities, it has health benefits. Is it vampire blood? Well, no, it's red mercury. The whole vampire blood repelled by garlic and them having no reflection makes a little bit more sense now.
Tommy Truthful here from truthmafia.com. So it's pretty amazing that this vampire blood or red mercury is repelled by garlic and attracted to gold and doesn't even show a reflection in the mirror. It kind of really makes sense, like the girl said, where them legends came from. I mean, look at that. That's crazy right there. Now, I believe this red mercury was used in free energy technology. Just think, you're pushing it away with the garlic and attracting with the gold. You could make crafts go. You could run a whole city on free energy with just these elements, the red mercury, the gold, and the garlic. And I believe these major ancient cities were doing this. You know, you go back to Tartaria, the Hyperborean civilization, back to ancient Egypt, the real Egypt, because they give us a lot of propaganda where it is, and it's not even in the right location, but that's not for this show. But they were definitely using this red mercury, and there's evidence of this everywhere. So I believe the Aztecs, the Mayans, they were all using it. They were way further advanced than we are now because they were tapped into the frequencies of nature. They were also using it when they died. There's accounts of emperors with this in their coffin.
Archaeologists are afraid to open the tomb of China's first emperor. It's been 50 years since villagers digging a well discovered the site. Yet no one has seen inside the tomb since nearly 2,300 years ago, when Emperor Qin's body was sealed within. The emperor certainly had grand ambitions for his tomb, which spans 98 square kilometers and even includes his famous terracotta army consisting of 8,000 soldiers and horses. Just a little further on this pyramid lies the emperor's tomb. According to the historian Sima Qian, the workers who prepared the tomb and attended the burial were walled alive in the mausoleum at the end of the ceremony, so the secrets of its construction would never be revealed. He also states that the tomb is protected by a multitude of traps, notably automatic crossbows, designed to stop anyone who ventures into the corridors. Worse still, he writes that the emperor's bronze sarcophagus is surrounded by a vast river of mercury. We know today that mercury is highly toxic, but the emperor believed it granted immortality. It remains uncertain whether the tomb will ever be opened, but officials prefer to wait for new technological advancements that will allow safe entry into the tomb without any risk of damaging the emperor's mummy or the surrounding treasure. Subscribe for more videos.
So you see, the first emperor was surrounded by mercury. Maybe it's connected to some resurrection technology. And red mercury in gold equals 187, which is the homicide code. Remember, Confucius told us, symbols rule the world, not the laws of man. The elites have a secret language of symbols and numbers. It's called gematria. Comes from Jewish Kabbalah mysticism. Now, who is the god Mercury? Well, it's Hermes. Mercury is the Roman god. Hermes is the Greek counterpart. And you won't believe this. Red mercury in gold equals 187, matching MH370. The flight that went missing in transit, which would be connected to Hermes. And on that flight, there were several people that had patents to free energy technology. Interesting. Now, Schumann resonance is also in that 187 cipher, and sound frequency. Then if you look at red mercury and garlic, you get 57 in Chaldean. This cipher is based on 1 through 8. It's one of the oldest and purest ciphers. The ordinal one is just A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way through Z is 26, based on the English alphabet. But red mercury and garlic equals 57, like law of attraction. And what's it do? The garlic repels the mercury. It's the law of attraction right there. And mercury is element 80. Well, secrets to the universe is 80, guys. These are hidden secrets that are not meant for the peasant class.
Mercury seems like you can use it to do some innovative things, but it seems like it'd be real fatal if you come in contact with it. I don't know.
So NASA don't want to tell us what's going to happen during the solar eclipse because they don't want us to panic. Oh, y'all concerned about us now? For one, I want to say we are not the only ones in the universe. Black holes, portals, other dimensions, it do exist. So NASA want us to think that we're just so special, the universe is just going to make us and nothing else. It don't work like that. Understand what a solar eclipse is. It's a portal. One door open, another door closed. So what's coming in and what's leaving? That's the big mystery. So when CERN operate their machine, they're trying to intercept that energy from the solar eclipse to use it to open up their own portal. These people are energy vampires on all kind of levels. They steal your soul, your spirit, and they also want to steal everything from the universe. Parasites and pirates. This is the reason why they don't want to tell the people, and they don't want the people to panic, because we are living with an interdimensional being that's locked away on this planet. These interdimensional beings are the jinns. The jinns cannot crack the firmament or the dome, so they gotta find another way to leave. The only way to open or crack the firmament is by using organic, natural energy, and we have organic, natural energy, and so do the solar eclipse. Remember, everything is a duality. So if hell exists, heaven exists. This planet was our heaven and is hell for the jinn. So the jinn is trying to escape, but they can't do it. So the jinn work behind the scenes with these scientists, with these doctors, giving them information on how to open up another portal. That's what CERN is all about. But they can't just come out and tell the people that we are dealing with spirits, ghosts, jinns, monsters. People don't believe that stuff no more. They're so worried about entertainment and Hollywood that they forgot about the spiritual world. Newsflash. Jinns and ghosts and spirits, it's a real thing. Why do you think all children have imaginary friends? Those imaginary friends are really spirits. Some call them spirit guides and some call them jinns. The jinns are made out of smokeless fire. That's why you can't see them. The jinns been locked away. This is their prison. So what they did was they made their prison more comfortable by enslaving us. Most of the knowledge, the ancient teachings, the weapons, technology, all that stuff come from spiritual beings. We need to learn and understand that we are not the only ones in the universe. Once we figure this out, we will get it in our mind that there are beings higher than us and there are beings lower than us. Somehow, some way, we are in the middle of a spiritual war. But that's what CERN don't want to tell you. They're trying to open up a portal so the jinns can escape and leave this dimension. They cannot leave it. So if they can't leave it, they made it hard for us to leave. Understand something. This been going on for a long time. They've been trying to crack the dome and the firmament for a long time. The firmament is made out of water. They cannot penetrate it because the frequency of the water is too high. Jinns hate water. That's why anytime someone is possessed by a spirit, the preacher come in and say, I'm gonna throw holy water on them. They are afraid of water, and we are water, so they are afraid of us, but we don't understand how powerful we are. But this CERN, this eclipse, they're trying to open up a portal so these jinns can escape. They don't want you to panic. That's why they gonna tell you this.
It'd be under that. Oh yeah, somebody lost their job. Woo! Now that was close. That's CGI? Let's see what this genius about to do.
Issue.
And loose joints.
Issue. It's pop, bro.
How close are we to the end? And what is biblical prophecy? According to Wikipedia, biblical prophecy is the passages from the Bible that are claimed to reflect communication between God and human beings through the prophets. Now, Christians usually consider the biblical prophets to have received revelations from God himself. Now, it's extremely important to understand prophecy, especially for the believers, because you're able to see the signs of the times, like the signals to us that the end is near, like wars, conflicts, increasing levels of evil and wickedness, rising environmental hazards like earthquakes, the emergence of a global economy. So these are seen as signals that the rapture is near. Now, we're closer now than we've ever been. That's a fact. But the true question is, where are we in this flow of biblical prophecy? That's a great question, and there's many answers. So if you would like to know more, make sure to click follow and check out my next video.
Why April 1st is known as April Fool. One common theory links April Fool's Day to the change from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar in the late 16th century. Under the Julian calendar, New Year's Day fell around the end of March or early April. When the Gregorian calendar was introduced by Pope Gregory III in 1582, New Year's Day was moved to January 1st. However, not everyone was immediately aware of this change, and some people continued to celebrate the new year during the old dates in late March or early April. These individuals became the target of jokes and pranks by those who had adopted the new calendar.
I could talk about the actual calendar and the real new year. So first I'm going to start off by telling y'all that there are actually 13 months. And if you pay attention, all of it makes sense. Remember how I told y'all that us and nature are connected? We're all connected? This is what I mean by that. So actually listen to what I'm about to say. The moon cycles every 28 days. And if you pay attention, when a woman is pregnant, they only count her pregnancy every 28 days. And they count by 4 weeks. 4 weeks in this month, 4 weeks in that month. And that's why when you count the weeks, it go by 7, 14, 21, 28. And the reason why I say we actually have 13 months is because if we have 13 months instead of 12, each month will have 28 days. So not only do the moon have a 28-day cycle, but don't us women have a 28-day cycle when it comes to our period? Not only that, God calls the moon a her. So the moon itself is represented as a female. So you got the women's menstrual cycle that's every 28 days, just like the moon cycle is every 28 days. So the moon is represented as a she, and it has a 28-day cycle, just like us, females, we have a 28-day cycle. Keep up, I'm trying to show you how we connected to nature. The only month that's actually truthful that we go by is February. That's the only month that actually has 28 days. All those other months, if all those months go to 28 days instead, it will make an extra month that will also have 28 days. So we will have 13 months that all have 28 days, which is actually for the missing month that we are supposed to have. April 1st, which is April Fool's, is symbolic to them fooling you into thinking that January 1st is the actual new year. But like I told y'all, we are connected to nature. Nature shows us that the real new year is in spring. Nature shows us that the real new year is when the earth starts to come alive again. The trees, the grass, and the flowers begin to blossom and grow back. Our energy is connected to nature. Our energy actually begins to shift with nature also. The new year is actually based off the seasons, and spring is the new season. January is not the new year. This is all some fake stuff that's going on, and they got y'all programmed. Like for real, how could January be the new year and it ain't representing no change? No new life, no growth. We are connected to nature. No matter what y'all try to lie about, what lies they put into y'all, or what y'all don't want to believe in, no matter what you want to believe in, we connected to nature regardless of what y'all say. God created us, God created nature. We are supposed to align with each other. 13 months instead of 12 will be exactly 28 days in each month. The first will always be a Monday, and the 28th will always be a Sunday. September came from an old Roman word called septem, meaning 7, which was originally the 7th month. October came from the Latin and Greek word oct, meaning 8, which was originally the 8th month. November came from the Latin word novem, meaning 9, which was originally the 9th month. December came from the Latin word decem, meaning 10, which was originally the 10th month. So September is actually the 7th month. October is actually the 8th month. Why do you think they call it an octopus an octopus? Oct stands for 8. An octopus has 8 tentacles. They call it an octopus for a reason, because it stands for 8 at the beginning. November is really the 9th month, and December is actually the 10th month. So for us to call September the 9th month, October the 10th month, and so on, that's a bold-faced lie, because it's not true. What I'm trying to tell y'all is at the end of the day, nature tells us the real time. And God made us the way we are and made nature the way it is for a reason. And we supposed to properly align with nature. Y'all have to realize we didn't have clocks and stuff back then. We followed nature. Nature told us the time. And until this day, nature tells us the time. God made us the way we are for a reason, the same way he made nature the way it is for a reason. So like I always said, Romans 3 and 4, let God be the truth and every man a liar.
We all know the day's been added and subtracted and rearranged, but the question is why?
Are the solar flares unnatural? Of course, the moment I filmed this video, there's so much noise outside. It wasn't like this 5 minutes ago. If this is not a sign that the Matrix is trying to make me not say this, I don't know what is. Before I get into why I think solar flares may be man-made and unnatural, I have to preface this saying this is absolutely for entertainment only. Pure speculation, no scientific backing. Months ago, I had this vision that the solar flare was actually being controlled by the planetary systems of Venus, Jupiter, or Saturn. Something along those lines. And then I had a friend confirm with the pendulum if there was actually a correlation between those planets and the solar flares, and she said yes, she's also psychic. The thing is, if you're spiritual, you know that the astronomy and the history we're taught is probably a big lie. A lot of these planetary systems are in control of the energy that is being sent here on Earth. And also in one of my astral projection visions, I saw that there was a military base in the middle of Saturn. If you look here on the base of Saturn, there's like this hexagon and it spins. That's what I saw in my visions. It was spinning and was actually like a portal that can kind of teleport you into the base. And my higher self just kept telling me, this solar flare is being controlled by the aliens, the alien overlords, and the world government to create what you call the 3 days of darkness, to create another chaotic energy flare-up. If you didn't know, the last time we experienced such a strong solar flare was when the Great Depression hit the United States in the 1920s to the 30s. And here's why I say I think the solar flare is orchestrated, man-made, or technically alien-made. It's because too many of us are spiritually waking up and they need to find a way to suppress you. What is the best way to suppress you? Create another major depression, like the Great Depression in the early 1900s. Also, create a way in which your communication will be stifled, suppressed. I keep saying this in all of my videos. If what I'm saying is true, which for the purposes of this video being taken down, it is not true. What I'm saying is totally not true. We as a human collective need to have more courage. Stop being so passive. Stop waiting for a savior to come towards you. Be your own savior. Another reason why I heavily speculate all these solar flares to be orchestrated is because I know that the alien overlords, the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, fallen angels, they have never left. They're still here. They're considered the 1%, but the 1% that are wearing the human mask, they're actually alien hybrids, and they work for their alien overlord gods. They don't care about you. It is speculated that the US government technology is actually 300 years more advanced than what they're showing us right now. If we are capable of quantum computing, why are we not capable of controlling planets? What if planets were alien-made technology hubs, or like really complex computers? The world is vast, and there are so many things that you need to question. If in fact we do live in the Matrix and we are controlled by the alien overlords, they have technology beyond your imagination. If they can control planets, if they can go through wormholes, what makes you think they can't hop dimensions and control other dimensions? If you're curious to learn more about the true nature of this matrix, what the fallen angels are, what these aliens or fallen angels want from us, our true human galactic history, because yes, humans are also hybrids of certain aliens, my book, Made in God's Image, which is linked in my bio, goes into everything you will need to know. And I say,
this was spotted last night in California. As y'all can see right here behind me, it was some kind of meteor shower or flying objects that was streaking across the sky. Some news media is calling it unidentified. They don't know what this is. But I always tell y'all, look up. You never know what you might see tonight. I'm not gonna cap. Catching the meteor shower is crazy. And there was multiple videos in multiple different locations spotting the same thing. Yep, this strange phenomenon happened over there in California. And we have been hearing about these other terrestrial bodies coming into the orbit. Could this be a cause of that? Could this be an alien fleet? Because to be honest with y'all, gang, we really don't know. Only thing that is for sure is that there's something strange that's going on with our skies that has been going on for a while now.